Hello everybody, it's Underflow and welcome back to another daily upload. Surprisingly, I've gone for 3 uploads in a row, which is pretty cool. I'm glad I'm back at it. I'm glad I'm back growing my channel in certain ways. It's nice to do. But today we are going to be talking about my predictions for the up and coming influencer boxing match. Keep in mind, I want everybody to know I don't know actual shit about boxing. The only time I've ever watched a boxing match was when either Floyd Mayweather was fighting somebody else or these influencer boxing match were going on. Other than that, I know nothing about boxing, but I do know one thing: we are the fastest growing channel on YouTube. Please do not fact check that at all. Just trust me. But yeah, we're gonna get right into it, starting with the first fight on this list being Faith Ordway versus Ellie Brooks. Now, I really don't know much about either of these women here, but I'm going to put my money in Faith Ordway for winning this one. I just feel that she has maybe more confidence going into this, because from what I've seen from her put out recently, I think she will win this one. As for Ellie, I think she's doing this more for show. I'm just going to put my money on Faith. I have really nothing more to say about this match. I don't know shit about him, but next fight is going to be... For the second fight of the night, we have Idris Virgo versus Anthony Taylor. Now, I'm going to be completely real with you, I think this will be an extremely close fight, and I'm going to honestly give this fight to Idris Virgo. I think Anthony Taylor might be talking a lot too much. He's really confident in what he does, but I don't know if confidence is going to carry someone all the way to the win. I do have my money on Idris Virgo. He has better stats from what I've seen so far, and by stats I mean he's taller. I think he has a longer reach as well, so I'm just going to give him those. But ultimately, I think it's going to be a pretty decent fight, although, you know, them right there in the video you just saw was cringe. They start singing to each other. I'm not totally sure if they were going to kiss or date or actually start fighting, but, you know, either way, I was entertained just a little bit. So moving on to the next fight, which is... Next, we ultimately have one of the fights I'm most excited for, the third fight of the night, I believe, which is Swarms versus Ryan Taylor. Now, I ultimately grew into hating Swarms at the start of him, like right before he fought KSI, because I thought he was just being an egotistical dickhead who just wanted a little bit more fame. But ultimately, it turned into me not liking the guy to ultimately liking the guy. His hard work and dedication to actually proving that he was going to be good at this whole boxing thing. And not only that, he's also extremely talented with music. He came in on 3 weeks' notice, which is something that's pretty fucking cool to say. And then you look at Dylan Dennis, who pulled out of a fight against KSI, but Swarms comes in at 3 weeks' notice. But then you ultimately have Ryan Taylor, who's also an extremely tough opponent. He's not someone to overlook. He's no Alex Wasabi. You have to take the guy serious. He just fought Slim recently and lost, but to keep up with someone like Slim, in my opinion, is pretty good. Ultimately, I think Slim isn't the craziest fighter. He's not the most technical, but for some reason, he's able to get in there and just pound his way through those opponents. Pause. But pretty much I'm going to put my money on Swarms here, and I'm going to go for a 5th round TKO. The next fight of the night, the 4th fight of the night, I believe, is BD Dave versus a mystery opponent. Now, when I first saw this, my first initial thought, don't mean to offend anybody, but was, who the fuck is he? Now, I remembered this guy after a while as the guy who told KSI to come fight him in his backyard. Now, I'm going to ultimately just say this. I'm going to put this out on the table because I know we're all thinking it. BD Dave's at a disadvantage here. He's not fighting in his backyard anymore, so he loses his home court advantage. So I ultimately am going to have to give it to the mystery opponent. It's kind of sad I do. Ultimately, I don't know who the fuck he is, but you know what? We're going to go mystery opponent. I always like to choose the mystery flavor when I'm eating airheads, so I mean, might as well pick it here. I'm going to put money on it, so I'm going mystery opponent versus BD Dave, 3rd round knockout. This is another fight I'm actually really excited to see the outcome of. We have Salt Poppy versus Josh Bruckner. Now, ultimately, when you go into this, right, you're going to be believing just from appearance alone that Josh Bruckner could win this, but I don't know if that's the case for a few reasons. Josh may have the reach, the size advantage, and he's in much better shape than Salt Poppy is, so he's probably going to be able to withstand a lot more rounds if they go longer. But Salt Poppy is very technical with how he boxes, from what we've seen, but this could be his actual first real challenge. So I don't know really where this fight's going to go. It could go to Josh Bruckner, but I think, once again, maybe he's not as technical as him, and he's going to slip up somewhere and let Salt Poppy get right in front of him and just throw one right in his face, and that's where he'd fall. But I'm going to go for Salt Poppy here with a TKO. The co-main event of the night will be Slim versus Tom Zanetti, and now I know this is going to be one of the weirdest fights to judge because Slim has one of the weirdest fighting styles I think I've ever seen in influencer boxing. Keep in mind, I really don't know much about boxing in general, but I do know that Slim has been able to pretty much rock everybody's shit that he's come across so far. So with that in mind, I'm going to keep in mind a few other things as well though. I do believe that Tom Zanetti is so fired up and so ready to fight somebody for the first time without them pulling out that he just might come through with this win. But I think it also go to Slim because of his easy experience within the ring at such a magnitude as well. Like, he's going to be easily ready and prepared for this, but maybe he's underestimating Tom a little bit. I don't know. I guess we'll see on the fight night. But for my final prediction, I think I'm going to go for a Tom Zanetti win by split decision. As the final fight for the night, the main event, we have KSI versus Temperr, and I know a lot of people were really upset about this fight, being that Temperr lost to Slim, and they thought Slim was deserving of the spot in the main event to fight KSI. I don't think that's true at all, really. It wouldn't have made sense for him to fight Slim going into this because he's been training for a southpaw when he didn't need to fight an orthodox, he needed to fight a southpaw. You can't just train for 3 months about a certain thing and then just go right to somebody else's style. It would kind of fuck you up. I mean, you should put all that training towards someone who's a southpaw, a good southpaw at least, and I think after that loss for Temperr, it kind of maybe lit a spark in his head. Going into these fights, he seems a lot more calm, more reserved. He seems more refined on the pass from what I've seen. He seems pretty decent. I honestly don't know who to bet on here. It could be anywhere, but I'm really hoping that KSI comes in with more technicality than he'd usually had. This is his first fight in a while that he's had opponents that don't run from him in the ring, so it's going to be a pretty good fight. Like, as the last one you had, what's his face? The skinny guy that he fought, and then Swarms. Goat Pineda. He had them two, and Swarms was constantly running and doing Beyblade spins in the ring, and then we also had Pineda sitting there calling fouls like it was LeBron James in the NBA when it really never happened. So I mean, I'm really excited to see how this fight comes out, an actual fight where they're going to throw punches at each other and not just dance around the ring. I hope KSI's, improved a lot more, but we're gonna see sooner or later. We're gonna see today actually. So you know what? I'm going to give my final opinion and prediction on who the winner would be to KSI as a 4th round TKO. I would really like to see a Temperr versus Slim rematch. If he performs really well, I think that'd be a really nice thing to see. As a final thing to say before I end this video off really soon is that I believe that all of these fighters have great potential, or probably could be really good. Like I said, I don't know much about boxing. I only know one thing, and that's I'm the fastest growing channel on YouTube. Once again, do not look that up. But basically, like I'm saying, is I don't really know much shit about boxing in general. I just kind of watch them because these are some of the people that I watch on YouTube, and it's nice to see someone get punched in the face or punch somebody in the face, if you know what I mean. So that's really the only reason I do watch it. I mean, boxing's a cool sport. I know it takes a lot of stuff into it. I'm not downplaying it at all, but I'm purely just watching it to see the people that I watch fight. So I think all of these fighters have great potential. Any of them could win. It could go either way, really. Don't really sit there and think that I know everything that I'm talking about. I don't really know shit. Just kidding, I'm a boxing expert. But ultimately, that's going to end it for today. That's everything I wanted to say to you guys for today. There will be another upload today since I missed yesterday's upload date. But you know what? That's all there is for today. Have a great day. See ya.